Stig? You've got a cat? I don't own a cat. Have you brought your own cat? Anyway, what are you doing here? Last time you turned up, I ended up having to make a 100-mile-an-hour dodge jump. I know what this is about. There's a new Bond film coming out. There's a new series of Top Gear, which started on BBC One, and I've seen in the advert you boys messing around with Bond cars. This is the sort of thing that could inspire a colinfurze project. Where are you going? Come on, stay with me. This is a good idea. Stig.
Woo! Get in! How cool is that? Oh, unbelievable.
Okay, here's the challenge. Now, in the next episode of Top Gear, they do like a Bond car special, a guide to Bond cars. And I'm thinking, we could make our own James Bond car. Now, I have got a budget, 007, 7K, very nice, and that includes the car. So, I need to get myself a car. Now, I'm slightly restricted because the gap outside the shed is not very big. So I've gone for something small. I've gone for a Z3. Now, this is all right, because I do believe Pierce Brosnan drove one of these in Monday Never Comes. So, let's have a look round it. Let's see if we can find some space to stick some gadgets in. Okay, there's not much room in this thing, but there is bits of gaps and stuff where we can slot stuff in. So, what are we going to put in this, Colin? Well, I think we should have 50-50. We should have partly James Bond gadgets, you know, weapons and things like that, and then some kind of more colinfurze Top Gear-esque gadgets on the other side of things. So we've got, you know, appease the fans and a little bit of comedy. Right then, first thing, we're going to go with the James Bond things. We want guns and we want flamethrowers. Yeah!
Just one more beer for me.
Okay, flamethrowers, going to stick them in the front. There's a nice big gap down here behind the bumper. Now, I've used gas in the past with the screw tank, but I think we're going to be testing this up an airfield. Airfields are windy, gas ain't no good, it just blows out, it's rubbish. So we're going to go for liquid fuel. So we need some liquid canisters. We then need things like the nozzles to deploy out underneath here somewhere. Pilot lights, pressurisation, bang, off it goes, amazing. Without covering up so much of the radiator that the car overheats.
The seas just bring me down, walking round and round and round. I don't know, I don't see, just don't beg for me. Take a shadow away from me. What you say I'll wait to see. What's it for? What do you need? Get me up to all of the same to me.
Right, fits in there nicely. This is kind of a proper furze contraption now, because normally this is like your crumple, your safety zone. But of course, Mr. Bond has a crash. Today, the first thing he's going to hit is a tank of fuel. But he likes explosions. It's all good. Right, flippy outy flamey things.
Don't jump again. And I'll see the signs, I'll see the signs, I'll see the signs.
Now, one of the cool things about James Bond cars, other than all the gadgets, is the fact that when they're not being used, you can't see them. They're all tucked away, hidden behind lights, panels, things like that. And even though I'm on a budget, I still have to achieve this. So, I've kind of rigged this up. There's a little grill under the number plate which I'm going to take away and replace. I'm going to slide this under, and this is basically our flamethrowers on linear actuators. So when we activate them, I'll just plug this in here. They will protrude out, ready to fire. Yes, Furze! Well, you're into that then, Stiggy boy. It's a lathe. It turns bits of metal. You can make like these little shims. Oh, he doesn't care, does he? Right, let's put this on a metal plate and install it properly, Colin. license to drill. Right, that's gone in there pretty well. Next up, grill to cover it up, wire it all up, connect it all up. Basically, Colin, just finish it off. And if it doesn't fit the first time, we could try another day.
Is that all? Is an aiming to just pull? Coming up in my face again, I won't ever let you know. I won't make the same mistake again. And the main man said, here we go. Honey, hold back, it is not over. So don't come back, 'cause I'm not sober. One quick glance over.
Okay, right, all the controls are in the glove box. So to deploy them, just flick this across. Then to light the pilot lights, push this. And then once it's ready, you push that one and it will fire. Right, let's fill it up with water and kind of have like a spray test and see what happens. Big question mark at the moment. Is it going to set fire to the front of the car? Okay, I've had a brilliant idea. Now, in one of the Pierce Brosnan films, they had the Aston Martin Vanquish, or the Vanish as they called it, because basically the whole outside of the car went transparent and you couldn't see it. Now, I can't do that on my budget, but what I was thinking, if I can somehow devise a system so I can fill the inside of the car up with smoke, then it will render the occupants of the car completely unseeable. Yes! That is a brilliant idea, Colin. Q, you missed the bit. Right, got a little stainless tube set up. It's got a glow plug in the bottom of it, which basically when you put a battery across it, glows red hot. So, if we drop a little smoke pellet in, will it light it? Then we can go and fit that in the vent of the car, and then it will fill the car up with smoke. Here's the plan! So you'll push the button for a little while, heat up, turn it off. There we go. Smoking! Brilliant! And then that will fill the car up. Or the shed, as it's going to do now. Oh, it's proper bellowing out now, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably definitely going to fill the car up. Do not inhale. Right, plan B. I have acquired a 12-volt smoke machine. Yeah, check this out, look. This is a better idea anyway. Stupid smoke pellets. Ha! Now, ideally, the smoke will come out the vents inside the car, and it draws the air from outside for that. Just here. So I'm thinking we'll reduce the size of our windscreen wash bottle, put the smoke machine there, drill a hole through into that, so when the smoke machine's on, the vents suck it all through, fills the cab up with smoke, and oh, Colin, it's amazing. Right, we might be able to test the flamethrowers here, but we can definitely test this. Blowers on 3, give it a bit of a thingy. Yes! It's coming in! I should try driving like this. I can't even see the steering wheel. Steering wheel. There's my hand. Okay, next idea, Colin. Next one. I don't think you're going to top this. Right, next up, I'm thinking oil slip. In a lot of spy cars, you know, when a baddie is chasing you from behind, you push a button and it deploys oil from out the back of the car and they slip and skid off the road. But I quite like the idea of slipping and skidding all over the place. So rather than deploy oil at the back of the car, I'm going to spray it on my own tyres so I can drift easier. Pretty simple task this. Got this little fuel pump. It's dribbling a little bit. Now this come off the turbojet afterburner rig setup because I have been working on that for those of you that keep asking. So I've plugged it off there, and then basically I've got the nozzle off an oil boiler and stuck it on the end, fired it up, and it's great. It gives a nice little spray. This is exactly what we want. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't shut off as soon as you turn the pump off. There's like residual back pressure, and it continues to run after a little while. So I thought, right, let's put a solenoid valve on the end, wire that up to the pump so they both come on and open at the same time. And then when the pump stops, the solenoid valve will shut and hopefully cut it off. Well, it works better. It's not as good as I'd like it to be, but we'll leave it at that in a minute because it doesn't, you know, it cuts off after like 5 or 10 seconds, which is perfectly acceptable. So we just need to find somewhere now I can fit this into the car. Okay, finally got it off the car. I thought it was just going to be these 2 screws here, maybe one at the back, and the whole thing would lift out. But no, you have to take the roll hoops off and all sorts of other things. But they are. Right, so I think we'll stick the pump in the bottom. And I've got this little tiny like petrol can which has come off like a lawnmower or something. Pop that just above it, can feed straight into it, and have the 2 lines go off, disappearing somewhere into the car. I've not worked that bit out yet, to under the wheel arches. Lovely. Right, that's got it fitted. See if it works. That'll do. Okay, really pleased with how this is going. Now, next video, of course, you don't want to miss. Subscribe, put your notifications on. I did say we'd add a lot more firepower to this thing, and I'm not wrong. Now then, in the past, I've added like airsoft guns and things like that, but things have moved on slightly now, and I think we should put some proper weaponry in this thing. I've also got an idea for another gadget which is quite unique and you probably won't have seen before. Certainly not on a James Bond car anyway. And of course, Top Gear, the Bond car special, this Sunday. See you there. See you in the next video. Woo!